Hello, it is Dr. Chris Raquel, and I am back again with a video for today. I hope you all are doing amazingly. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in my content. You can also send me an email at askkrystalracquel@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer it on video for you. I have a great topic for you today. Today's topic is related to the timeline that a lot of women have for their lives in terms of childbirth. One thing that I've been seeing is that sometimes ladies, when they reach a certain age, I would say in your 30s in particular, a lot of times women start rushing because they want to have children. I know for me, when I hit 30, I became more conscious of the fact that by 40, there would most likely be a significant decline in my ability to have children. So I definitely recommend for the ladies, and I've spoken about timelines for marriage in other videos, and I'll try to link some down below. But I've spoken about how I definitely recommend when you're in your about mid-20s that you definitely seek that life partner, so you will, potentially be married between the ages of 25 and 30. Those are the ideal time frames. And then we would hope that within the next couple years, if there's no fertility concerns, you'll be able to move forward and have children. For those of you who know me, I was married about a week after I turned 34 years of age, and I just gave birth to my first child not too long ago, and I am 35 years of age. But what I'm seeing is that a lot of ladies are doing things backwards. And what I mean by that is when they reach a certain age, I've even seen people that I know on social media, when they reach a certain age in their 30s, they will then start having children. It's not so much a concern anymore about whether or not they're married. They feel sometimes that if they become pregnant, now maybe the man is going to marry them. I've been seeing that a lot. And there's some cases where the man will marry, and that's usually just if he's ready for marriage. But I think ladies need to really be careful with that, because you don't want to get into a situation where you're just hooking up with someone because you're hoping to have a child, because you feel like you're at that point. I remember someone even recently told me that in their culture, there's ladies who will go try to find men. It doesn't matter if they're already in a relationship or whatever. They are just at that point where they want a child. So they're looking for a man who will give them a child, I guess you can say. And it's similar to what we see with the sports industry, where there's men, a lot of the men are really wealthy, and then ladies that go after them, the men are just, thinking, oh, these women look so good, I want these ladies. And the ladies have something in mind. They have their vision for their life. If you know the scripture, there's a scripture that says, write the vision and make it plain. Those ladies have written their vision out, and they know that they want to go after that basketball player, after that football player, somebody who they know is wealthy financially at that point in their life, and they're out there to get that meal ticket. So ladies, not even just in that scenario where the man is wealthy, ladies, don't be so focused on your timeline. Focus on what it is you need for yourself. When I knew I was at that point where I would eventually want to have a family and children, my thought wasn't I need to go and have children. My thought is I need to find, or I need my husband to find me so then I can have a family. A lot of ladies feel that, men aren't interested in marriage, but there are men who are very interested in marriage. You just have to wait until that one finds you. And in doing so, you would have to make sure you're preparing yourself. And preparing yourself means preparing your mind, preparing your body physically. So, at the weight that I am now after having children, this would not be the ideal time for me to have children. So you want to make sure your weight is in check. You want to make sure that you will be able to healthily carry a baby. So that means, doing all you can to be healthy, eating right, and that way you're even around super long for the child that you do have. And just focus on the right things. Focus on preparing yourself to find your mate, not focusing on yourself, not focusing on who you can have a baby from, not focusing, okay, this guy is nice, if he seems like he's doing well financially, if I have a baby by him, I'll be straight, so let me go ahead and get a baby from him because I feel I'll be taken care of. Whether or not he decides to marry, that's up to him, but I know I need children, so I'm going to go ahead and have it now. And don't put it in your head that it's going to be a bad pregnancy or anything. They say that the 35 and up age range for women is considered, previously, public health terms, it was, geriatric pregnancies, but now it's considered advanced maternal age. And don't think of it like that. I had a very healthy pregnancy. I wasn't someone who was thin either, although I did exercise a lot, as some of you may know. I did try to make sure I exercised 150 minutes a week, and I had no issues or health complications. So don't think to yourself like, I'm going to have some problems, I'm older now, something's going to happen to my child. No, just everyone's timeline is different. So ladies, if you are in your 20s, yes, work on yourselves. Then that way you'll be ready to find your mate at the most desirable age range for children. But ladies, don't make it all about having a child and having a family, because God is going to open that door for you. God is going to make it so you are on the right timeline. God can turn anything around for his good. I saw recently, and I shared it with my mom, my younger sister, that there was a lady, or I think I shared it with both of them, or it might have just been my mom, but there was a lady, she was in an African country, I believe. She had prayed for a child. She did not have any children until she turned 60. She was blessed with a baby girl. And then after that, she prayed and she said, Lord, please just give me a sibling for my child. And at 63, she gave birth. It was documented as true. 63, she gave birth to, I don't know if it was 3 additional children or 4 additional children, so quadruplets. And so she had prayed to have a sibling for her first child, and she was blessed with 4 additional children, 3 girls and 1 boy. So I thought that was absolutely amazing. Not saying I would want to have a child at the age, but just showing you that, it's not all about, your own timeline. God has a plan for you, and God has purpose for your life. And don't focus on that, because you're really going to be derailing your life by attempting to have children without being married and without having a stable foundation for them. It's been proven statistically that a 2-parent household with a father and a mother leads to the best outcomes for health and wellness overall. And of course, I think I've mentioned this before, of course, if there is a stable woman and she either has a child or adopts, that is going to be a better situation than having a horrible a horrible marriage with like a man and a woman, or a relationship with a man and a woman. That woman who is like stable and doing well, of course that's going to be better. But basically, when you compare all of the single parent households, even like if you want to just compare the good single parent households with like a really good stable person, or a stable mother, which is, I just say mother because that's the usual when it comes to a single parent household, but men or woman, if you compare that good one parent single parent to a good household with a man and a woman, the man and the woman household, they outperform the single parent household by far. So ladies, you don't want to get into a situation where you're setting your children up for failure by not really being on a steady foundation. And when I say steady foundation, of course, there's a possibility that if you get married, it can lead to divorce, because I believe over 50% of marriages do end in divorce. However, if I'm talking to ladies now, if that man can't commit to you and write on the paper that he's willing to marry you and that he's going to stick with you and make that legal promise, and that promise before God, if you're Christian or another religion, there's no reason why you would be able to commit your body to bear a child for him. You need to, ladies, you need to make sure you have some sort of protection if you're going to be having children, because there's some times where a lady may not be healthy during her pregnancy. She needs to stop. You want to make sure you have at least that, I guess, how would I say it? You don't want to really have that stress of not having that protection, not having that marriage, not having that firm foundation. And I would highly recommend, ladies, please don't go into it when you get to a certain age thinking that you want to have your children. Even if you're younger than 30, don't go into it saying, you know what, you want to start having your babies now. That's important. I knew someone who, I don't remember his age at the time. He had to have been 40 or so, and he had a daughter who was about 18 or 19 years old, and she became pregnant. I don't think she was in school or anything. I think she had already graduated from high school, and he was very happy that she was, having her first child. And for me, I thought it was a bad thing, just because the young lady was just starting out her life. And from his perspective, it was a good thing. So ladies, just be careful, because having children, in your relationships, boyfriend, girlfriends, it's not the best situation for your child, because you don't know if that is permanent. Of course, we don't know if marriages are permanent, but if someone's willing to at least write their name on a dotted line to marry you, that's the least that someone should do if you're going to have a child for them, ladies. So, and I know sometimes it can be an accident in terms of your pregnancy. That's another scenario, but I'm talking about people who are intentionally hoping to get pregnant and in willingly ready to have a child. So I'm not going to get into right now in this video about how you're supposed to wait until marriage, but there are people who they're already partaking in sexual activity, and they are intentionally not using protection because they're hoping that God will bless them with a child. So be careful, ladies. Do the right thing. Focus on God, focus on Christ, focus on the way that he designed things. He designed it for a reason. He wants to be able to give you a lineage that he can bless. And you don't want to look back and feel that you are the reason that your children, grandchildren, and beyond are choosing to do the same thing that you did, because even looking at family trees and looking at the relationships between people, there are patterns and there's cycles. We see that a lot. So a lot of single parent households, it's cyclical. I think I talked about one of my friends before, how she was raised by a family member, and when she would talk to me about, she was a beautiful person. When she would talk to me about our future, I knew her in college, she would tell me, I can't wait for us to live together, live near each other. I want our children to grow up together. And she never mentioned a husband. And she was raised in similar circumstances. So it's really a cycle. And what we have to do, if you're in a situation like that, if you were raised in a single parent household, either because one of your parents wasn't around, one of your parents passed, or something of that nature, just try your best. Try your best to make a change, just knowing the statistics in terms of what's best for a child. If you have male children, who influences that male child the most is the father. If you have daughters, who influences your daughters the most is going to be the female parents. So keep those things in mind. And statistics also show that for young men, if they don't have their father around, that can drastically influence their life in negative ways. So just think about those things. We don't know if we're going to have boys or girls, so just make sure you do the right thing. You want to make sure that you are setting your children up for the best future. And young men, if you did not have one of your parents in your life, whether it was your mother or father, just know it's okay. You can move forward. You can either get mentorship from someone, or you can study and learn and find out what it is you need to do to be the best parent and the best partner if you're in a relationship. So don't worry about that. You know, you can certainly move forward, but you don't want to be in a situation where it's a cycle. Same thing for young ladies. If you were missing one of your parents in your life, you don't want it to be a cycle. You want to look, learn, figure out what it is you were lacking, so then that way you can move forward. And it goes the same too for people who maybe weren't from a single parent household. Maybe they had both parents, and maybe they have a bad relationship with either one or both of their parents. Same thing. Focus on, figure out what it is in you that needs to change, or what it is that you might have been lacking, so then that way you can move forward. But just to close this out, ladies, you don't need to be focused on having your child. Focus first on what it is you need to do to be able to be the best version of yourself and be the best partner. If you can't figure out what it is to be a good partner, as well as what it takes to find a good partner, it's probably unlikely that you're going to be a great parent, since those things kind of go hand in hand. If you're going to be a good partner, you can probably work it out to be a good parent. If you don't know how to be a good partner, or don't know what it takes to be a good partner and find a good partner, it's probably going to be hard for you to be a good parent. So keep those things in mind. Let me know what you think down below. Are you seeing that women are racing to have children once they reach a certain age, or do you feel like that's a good thing or a bad thing? Let me know down below. Hope you have a wonderful, blessed night. Bye-bye.